We are the devil's blood. We make the devil's music. We play the devil's rock and roll. We've been doing it since 2007, approximately.
You seem like a very spiritual person. Do you tolerate other religions, or are they wrong?
I have a very big problem with religion as a whole, as a concept, and especially with the Christian, the Muslim, and the Jewish religions, of course, because they are the direct antithesis of what I believe. And I respect people who are genuinely spiritual. They don't have to believe or experience the exact same things as I do, but these people are at least more in tune with what is going on around them. And I think people who just blindly adhere to any religious system without having any spiritual connection are basically the sheep that will be led to the slaughter.
Okay, when did you begin to play guitar? When did you begin to learn it? And who taught you these 70s vibes?
No one really. I'm playing guitar for the biggest part of my life, I think, since I was about 12 or 13 years old. And my musical tastes have always gone into that direction. I mean, Black Sabbath and Kiss were among the first bands that I ever listened to. And from there I went to the extremer stuff as well, of course, with Bathory and Burzum and Darkthrone, and later on the modern waves of black metal with Deathspell Omega, Urfaust, stuff like that, the death metal Morbid Angel. But I always kept a very close place in my heart for bands like Thin Lizzy and Wishbone Ash and the earlier 60s stuff with Roky Erickson and the 13th Floor Elevators. So this for me is just a logical thing. You know, when I pick up an instrument and write a song, this is simply what comes out. So there's not really a plan. It's more like I think, you know, when every artist, you know, just doesn't think about what he's going to do and just simply lets it happen, then this is what happens for me. Well, in a way, I think everyone who is creative is a medium for creative energy. Okay. And creative energy is something that I think is extrinsical to humanity. It's something that comes out of for some people comes out of the cosmos, and for me it comes out of the chaos.
Okay. So there are no readable lyrics in your album, The Time of No Time Evermore. Was this a mistake, and how important is it? And how important is that fans can reach those lyrics?
Well, I think everybody can reach the lyrics, and I think everybody could, with a lot of effort, can even read them. But I think this is what I was aiming for, was that there needed to be some kind of transcription for each person to really concentrate on what you hear and what you see and make that fit. Because if you really dive into this material in that way, you are bound to find something more than just the music or the words. And I think if you give everyone everything for free and just, you know, let them read it and just then it has no more special meaning it doesn't have any special meaning for them as a person.
Okay. So they don't need to go deep into the music, they can just read it and
yeah, exactly. It's more like going to the McDonald's or something.
Okay.
And that's not what we're about. We're about trying to reach people in a way that they haven't been reached before.
Your live shows are more like a one-piece medley, one great song. How much room for spontaneity is there? Is there everything planned or?
Quite a lot, actually. We do have a lot of jam sessions in the set, and we do have a lot of places where we drift away from the song structures as they are on the album. Okay. I think, you know, the creating process of an album is like you write the songs and you define them in a way that works in the home situation, you know, with someone listening to the album in darkness and concentrating on it. The live thing is a completely different discipline, so we can drift away a bit from the structures that we put on the album, just because the songs demand it in this setting. They demand a different approach, and it's not like really big differences, but sometimes we do tend to have these long jam sessions on certain parts of the songs, and we enjoy that very much.
Some people wonder or are impressed that Devil's Blood already found their style or their unique style of music before releasing first demo. So they consider you to be something like a genius. What do you think when you hear things like that?
I don't know if that's true because, as I said earlier, I don't really think that I am the one who is completely in charge of this music. You know, I am just the gateway through which it is pushed into the world, and I would never go as far as defining myself as even talented. You know, I'm just a guy doing what he has to do, and you know, it's true because a lot of the songs that were on the album were actually written before the first demo was even released. But that doesn't mean that things don't develop. You know, I think that when I will start creating the music for future albums, it will be slightly different again. I don't think we have released anything that sounded the same twice. I think there's always small differences.
Yeah, so that's true. Are you often creative? Are there any new songs planned or already written or recorded for an upcoming release? Or
no, at the moment, everything is pretty much used up. And am I often creative? I don't. I wish I was. I wish I could be more. You know, it's always like a fight. It's always like being able to be the right person for the job at the moment, to be able to receive the material, to receive the lyrics, and it just doesn't work all the time. Sometimes you simply have absolutely nothing. I can go without writing a song for like as long as 6 or 7 months, and then then something comes up in me, and I have to start, and then like 4 or 5 songs come out in one go. So it's always for me it's about as unknown as for everyone else.
So you are not into drugs or something, because there are various 70s bands that wrote songs on drugs or played them on drugs. So some people ask themselves if this is an influence or something.
The writing process is always sober.
Okay.
Yeah. Like when you are, for example, if you were to be in a meditation and if you were to be channeling some kind of power, the unmuddled mind is always the strongest. You know, the mind that is the purest will always be the most creative. And I think to drown yourself into drugs and alcohol in this moment is counterproductive, because I don't think you will be as good as it can be.
You said when you write songs there aren't any drugs. What about live?
Well, you know, sometimes. I used to be a very big user of drugs. I used to be well, what you would call a cocaine junkie, maybe. I did a lot of speed and a lot of cocaine and a lot of everything really that was available, and that was like a few years ago. And I managed to stop that, you know, the constant use, and now it's something that happens every now and again. So I have more control over it, and in that way it helps a little bit more with being creative, especially in the live situation where you can drink a few alcoholic beverages and maybe have some weed or whatever is available at the moment, and it can bring you into a certain vibe, which can help.
Was it at the time where you played with Powerwise? Because I heard rumors that they got a lot of drug problems, and so they don't write songs anymore and just shoot them out of the world. So. Would you like to say something to Powerwise or?
No comment.
Okay. Any last words? Anything to say?
Well, first of all, thanks for the interview, and I hope through this that we can reach some more people to become tainted by the poison of the devil's blood.